Fortunately, everybody in my family was entirely safe.
After the storm tonight at 6, homes damaged by yesterday's fast-moving winds and hard downpours. How homeowners are reacting to the deadly band of weather. And in the dark, tens of thousands of people still without power, just where crews are working to bring lights back on and the AC too during a hot spring day. We're live.
And Mother Nature's granting us a couple of dry days now coming up to help with the cleanup. We'll talk about those dry days and when our next storms are going to arrive coming up.
World Pride is underway. Millions expected to visit D.C. through the coming weeks. Just how celebrations kicked off today in the district. And we're saving you cash, a Northern Virginia program to do just that, and a food giveaway too here at home. Plus, a feature to save on your next ride share. We're stretching your dollar.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. Tonight, cleanup continues after yesterday's deadly storm. Our continuing coverage, we begin with the scene in Fairfax County on the George Washington Parkway. That's where one of two people died after a tree crushed their cars. The road there closed for hours from the sheer toll of those toppled trees. And in the Fort Hunt neighborhood of Alexandria, just north of Mount Vernon, homeowners cleaning up the damage done to roofs, chimneys hit by limbs and downed trees. One homeowner told us he's thankful he is safe, as well as his entire family.
Our home right now is totally unsafe. We have no power. There's multiple holes inside the roof. There's insulation, there's water, there's damage that's beyond description inside the home. Fortunately, everybody in my family was entirely safe.
We continue to cover the fallout in Northern Virginia alone. Dominion Energy reports 16,000 customers still without power in Northern Virginia, some ongoing where a woman was killed. DC News Now's Dave Laval joins us in Woodlawn, where she died after that tree fell. Dave, a tragic scene, one of two. What have you learned?
Well, no question, Ben. Definitely a sad story here at the corner of Fry Road and Pole Road. This is where a tree fell on a car and killed a still unidentified woman inside of it. Broken glass marks the spot where the woman lost her life. The section of Fry between here and Manor Drive remains closed as crews from Dominion Energy work to restore electricity loss when the tree took down power poles and lines. The other death, as you heard just moments ago, happened along the George Washington Parkway near Morningside Lane in Fort Hunt. Still no word on that person's name. As for where we are, crews told us it could be 8 p.m. at the earliest before power is restored. System-wide, Dominion Energy reports roughly 12,000 customers still without power, about 11,500 of them around Fairfax County. Pepco, meanwhile, reports 159 outages with nearly 2,000 customers in the dark. There is no word how long it will take to get everyone's power restored. We did get a chance to talk to one homeowner earlier who did not want to go on camera. She told us the only good thing about last night's weather is it kept things cool, which is really important when you don't have electricity. We are live in Woodlawn, Virginia. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Dave. Before we get to your forecast, those storms were certainly fast and furious. This is video from Southwest DC taken outside the Waterfront Metro Station. It's near the wharf. A night market was happening that was hit hard. Look at those tents just toppled on each other. And on Capitol Hill, a tree crushed this blue Honda Civic, blocked the entire road. This is on the southeast end of Capitol Hill on Walter Street. The tree uprooted, smashed onto the hood of that Civic. The road was closed until they could get it out of the way. It was a messy one indeed. Meteorologist Scott Summers standing by. It was just not a good one for tens of thousands of folks in the DMV, Scott. But the good news here, no storms, at least right now.
That is correct. We have several days of cleanup process that's going to be ongoing here, obviously, with all these multiple storm reports that you see over the last 24 hours. I just highlighted one of those. Again, you saw it visually there with the live shot and the video, several trees down, power lines down, etc. And that was around the Beltway and then extended extending further to the east and to the north in Anne Arundel County, in and around the Annapolis area. Now, these are some of the latest power outages that I have through our weather computer system. It might be a little bit off here or there, but you get the gist of it. Nearly 10,000 here in Fairfax County alone, and about nearly 1,000 here in the Stafford vicinity, and then 1,000 in PG roughly, and 1,000 in Anne Arundel County as well, is where I believe Dave was here. So as you can see, and then to the north, Germantown about 500, or Montgomery County around 500, where Germantown resides. So really got hit pretty hard around the Beltway and points east of there. Currents right now, we've got 87 degrees, we've got sunny skies, and we've got a bit of a camera that's shaking. As you can see, those winds won't let up. We'll talk about what's in store for us on Sunday and, of course, the rest of the night. Ben?
All right, thanks, Scott. Meantime, deadly severe weather passed through the Midwest and in the South. Authorities report at least 23 people were killed, more than half of those casualties in Kentucky alone. It's a good time to remind you to download our free DC News Now weather app. That way you can get real-time alerts on your phone for exactly where you live. You can also stay up to date at dcnewsnow.com. All right, more local news and new tonight. One person was killed after a carbon monoxide leak inside of a Maryland home in St. Mary's County. Police were called to the Lexington Park area for a man reportedly having trouble breathing. Inside, crews found high levels of carbon monoxide and 2 people there. One of them, a 50-year-old, taken to the hospital. Another man, 58 years old, was unresponsive. He died at the house. We're told first responders were also exposed to carbon monoxide. 3 deputies sent to the hospital for treatment. Stay with us as we learn more. Meantime, back in the district, D.C. police have shared the name of a teenage boy who was shot and killed in Trinidad neighborhood last night. Police found 17-year-old Naquan Johnson shot near Montello Avenue, adding he was not conscious or breathing. They tried to save his life. Police say Johnson was shot just up the block behind Holbrook Terrace. There is a $25,000 reward for information, leading to an arrest and a conviction. Developing now, the Supreme Court is blocking the Trump administration from moving forward with deportations and those under the 18th Century Wartime Alien Enemies Act. Now, the court acted on an emergency appeal from lawyers for Venezuelan men. They were accused of being gang members, which under that 1798 law made them eligible for rapid removal from the U.S. 2 conservative justices, Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, dissented. President Trump criticized the court's decision, which included justices he appointed. This comes as the case to bring home the wrongly deported Maryland man is also back in court. The Trump administration now says it cannot provide information on Kilmar Abrego Garcia because those details amount to state secrets. Our Randy Bass has more from federal court in Greenbelt, Maryland, where there was a large show of support to bring him back.
Yes, dozens of people showed up before today's hours-long hearing that really centered and focused on privileged documents that the government says could expose state secrets. Right now, Judge Paulazina says she doesn't have enough information to determine whether that's the case here. She says the documents and depositions she has before her in the Abrego Garcia case are lacking and not substantial enough or detailed enough for her to grant state secrets privilege. That would have to be based on a clear and reasonable danger to U.S. foreign relations. Abrego Garcia's team says the government hasn't told them anything about what they have done or plan to do to facilitate his return from El Salvador. The government says they're complying with orders to facilitate his return, but Judge Zina says top officials are saying the exact opposite, referring to statements from President Trump and Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, a defendant in the case, both saying Abrego Garcia will not be returned to the U.S. A judge called those statements problematic, calling them an admission that they are not complying with the court order. At the rally ahead of today's hearing, Congressman Glenn Ivey called on the government to stop what he calls a smear campaign against Abrego Garcia.
Stop with the slander campaigns, because none of that stuff works. The stuff they have to say is in court, under oath. They can lie out there in the press conferences, but they won't lie in court because they know they can be held accountable for it.
After hours of back and forth, where do things stand now? The courtroom was sealed for additional discussion about what could become privileged in the case.
And because of the nature of the arguments that the government is making, some of those last remaining arguments need to be made in secret, so to speak.
Still a lot of questions left to be answered, though Judge Zenas is expected to issue a decision sometime early next week. In Greenbelt, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Randy. Meantime, the Georgetown University scholar arrested by ICE and targeted for deportation is back home in Virginia with his family. A tender moment there. Dr. Badar Khan Sori was arrested in March because of his wife's Palestinian heritage and for their involvement in protests. His wife is an American citizen. Dr. Khan Sori was released from ICE detention in Texas when a federal judge ruled the White House failed to provide any evidence to keep him there. It's a wild scene today. A possible car exploded and rocked several blocks near a fertility clinic today. This is in Palm Springs, California. Police say at least one person is believed dead. It happened around 11 a.m. there, 2 p.m. here at home. The FBI is involved. The clinic was damaged. A lot of it, too, according to this video, but none of the embryos stored there were harmed. A motive is currently unclear. All right, switching gears in tone, a month of World Pride events starts this weekend in the DMV. That includes some history tours, food events, parties, and a brand new Welcome Center. The World Pride Welcome and Visual Arts Center opened today between G and H Street in Northwest. The hub is free to the public and has information on anything related to World Pride. You can also find a phone charging station, a lounge, merch for sale, and a curated art gallery. And to help kick off World Pride, the American Civil Liberties Union and the Gender Liberation Movement revealed the Freedom to Be quilt and on the National Mall today. It's made by trans artists and allies. It includes over 250 6x6 foot panels. It's inspired by the AIDS Memorial Quilt to remember the many lives lost of the devastating disease.
Wanted this quilt to serve as a strong, defiant statement that trans people aren't going anywhere, that there's never been a world without trans people, and that there never will be.
The event also featured live music, a rally for trans rights, and an activity where you can make your own quilt panel. Also in the district, happening now, the National Asian Heritage Festival. Marks 20 years for this Fiesta Asia celebration. What does it feature? Plenty of programs, showcases, performances, and a pop color, of course. And there's food as well for the hungry folks out there. Several roads, though, are closed in Northwest. They will remain closed until 10 tonight. Anybody parked in violation will be ticketed, and you're encouraged to find other ways to get around. If you are unsure which roads are closed, go to dcnewsnow.com. Coming up, putting money back in your pocket and supporting small businesses. How to stretch your dollar. And they're teeny tiny creepy crawlers, and they want to hook into you. In our What's Going Around segment, how to protect yourself from ticks. 6:12, happy Saturday, a live look at the Pentagon. Stay with us. Much more local news and weather right around the corner.